Practice notes are streaming in, and boy, I got to tell you, some good stuff came out of this morning's scrimmage. So, want to drop a couple of nuggets, talk about what was sent to me, and kind of shed some light on why I'm actually more excited now than I was before. Let's dive into it. Before we do that, welcome to Unfair Sports. I'm your host, Jay. Thank you for pulling up to the channel. Saturday night, hopefully you all enjoy this. We're going to dive into some notes and stuff I got from the scrimmage this morning. Me and Coop is going to definitely talk about it and go back and forth tomorrow because he got some notes as well. And then, of course, if you check me out on the Locked On Sooners, me and John will add additional color from there. So thank y'all for pulling up and joining the fam. But I want to talk about some of the things I heard in the scrimmage this morning. We know we had some players down, dealing with a few injuries here and there, a few concussions, and I'll explain kind of what that means too, and in my eyes, as well as who do I think really is standing out that y'all gotta keep your eyes on. Let's talk about it. Something to keep in mind here, first and foremost, when it comes to scrimmages. Of course, this isn't scrimmage footage. This is practice footage that Oklahoma produced. But the one thing to keep in mind when it comes to these scrimmages is that this is an opportunity to kind of see who understands the plays, who understands what you need to do in live scenarios, and you're going to be tested and pushed to the edge. So what I was told, and also want to keep in mind, when I talk about this, you probably read some of these reports on some of the other sites like OU Insider, 247 Sports. Remember, a lot of us have similar sources. Like for me, I get a lot of stuff from parents. They send me a lot of info they get from their kids. And so we leverage that here just to converse about because I know a lot of you fans want to hear about it. So don't be surprised if a lot of our information is similar because, it was only one scrimmage. So everybody's point of view, though, it's always different. But I digress. One thing to say is Mateer is that dude. The offense, it sounds like, started off well. Things balanced out in the middle. The defense took over. The offensive line, of course, has some struggles with shuffling tackles right now, especially because we're dealing with guys in the concussion protocol and a little bit of injuries. I think Sexton went down. I think Jake Taylor's dealing with something. Derek Simmons is also dealing with something. And I want y'all to understand something in that capacity. First and foremost, if you're dealing with guys that are moving into light injuries, more so like concussions, things, little quote unquote spaghetti brain things getting rattled up there, getting their bell rung. When you play the brand of physical football that Oklahoma wants to have, like the brand we played in the Alabama game, the start of the LSU game before injuries, the start of the Ole Miss game before injuries, the start of the Missouri game, where we're physically imposing and we're pushing people around, and that's our goal, you're going to deal with this kind of stuff. People are going to ring bells, mainly because they're not pulling back as much as they probably should, because you want to see them go full speed. Now, granted, the good thing is I'm hearing that the team is pulling back on the way and how physical they are in some capacities, but they want these dudes to go full speed too, because they want to understand what we're working with as we prepare for not only Illinois State, but Michigan right afterwards, who also plays a very physical brand of football. So, yeah, dudes are going to kind of get rattled up. Dudes are going to get hit and bounce. It's kind of how it works. Why? Because that's the game. Football is a physical game, physical sport that's so dangerous that you have to have your quarterbacks in a blue jersey and can't let them get touched. Why? You don't want them to get hurt. Keep that in mind when I'm talking about this. But offensive line has some things to work through. And we've looked at the offensive line itself. We looked at the players that's on there. We looked at those that will be taking over in a lot of those spots. To me, your offensive line is still Sexton, EPL, Everett in the middle. Your right's going to be Wei Wu, and then on the right tackle will be Derek Simmons in the end. But you've got a second layer, and possibly third, that's fine. You still got Fasusi. You've got Logan Howland, in which I know that they're trying to get him to play both sides of the ball, which can be a challenge. But you want to make sure you have a backup there just in case. Jake Taylor, when he gets back healthy, he'll be back and forth on there. Hito Zaida, when he's healthy, he'll be right there at the left, right there at the backup, or even fight for the starting spot. Ryan Fogier right there with Michael Fasusi, your two freshmen are looking like they're going to get some chances. Luke Buklinko, who's young. Jake Michaela. The list is pretty long on the players. Luckily, you have about 3 deep to play in there. The bigger thing is making sure everybody understands how this works. They understand how to adjust and play. And I think, to me, the thing that excites me the most is this. The offense leading off and doing well, then things balance and the defense adjusting and taking over is exactly how I would want this team to be played. I want the defense to win more practices than the offense, but I don't want the defense to dominate end to end in these practices. What this tells me is that the offense did their adjustments to start the game, and the defense adjusted to those adjustments, which makes me feel good that, okay, at a certain point, the defense is going to figure things out and be able to be more dominant. Which, what does that lead to? Our offense having shorter fields and the opportunity to play in better field positioning just in general, or in more possessions. Those are the things that are critical, and I feel like that's what we're getting out of that. Next, we got to talk about some of these players that I feel like is definitely showing out. We saw some stuff posted on the social not too long ago, which is pretty exciting. But make sure you go check out what the insiders dropped. Go to Sooner Scoop. Go check out OU Insider. Check out 247. All of them are putting out stuff. The Football Brainiacs. Go show them all some love. Just pick your poison, whichever one you prefer. All of them are putting out some really good notes on the observations and the information that's been filtered to them. Definitely worth your time if you want to know this stuff in advance. If you're willing to wait, cool, just wait. You ain't got to be, not everybody wants to be just completely cutting edge when it comes to this info. So I'm just want to wait. And I understand that. That's why I talk about stuff that's been publicly put out there, except for what's provided. So I always like to put that disclaimer out there. So, but there's players out there giving us stuff. Isaiah Satania is one of them. Just understand, Satania is going to be good. Satania is going to be fun to watch. He's going to be one that y'all going to be like, dang, how did Arkansas let him get away? Like, I've seen people say that he's going to light up the SEC. He did really good last year in the SEC with Arkansas, especially in the return game. He's going to be a really good receiver. Like him and Burks, who I saw a picture when Oklahoma dropped their video basically from the scrimmage. You saw Deion Burks in jersey and helmet, so he's out there running around. It looks like Satania making some catches, and he made a dip. So it looked like he took a long one for a touchdown. Thank goodness. We didn't have many of those last year in camp. I didn't hear about much of that. All I heard about was the defense whooping tail, and the offense was, just sharpening itself. Well, we're hearing both sides of it. So you're getting some big plays. You're still getting the offense, but give you something. But the biggest thing is that front seven is ridiculous. It's hard. The edges are winning just about every battle that they get themselves out there. They're causing a lot of pressure, which is good. And you're also dealing with backup tackles right now. When you get your starters, you should be a lot better off. But I think our edges are supposed to be this good. R. Mason Thomas, PJ Adebawore, Taylor Wine, Daniel Koye, Marvin Jones Jr., they're all supposed to be really good in comparison to our offensive line, just because we expect them to be really good. The interior is causing problems and pushing. They're causing pressure. Buy as much Reggie Powers stock as you can get your hands on. I'm just telling you now. Buy as much Reggie Powers stock as you can get your hands on. The kid is going to be a ridiculous playmaker. I saw someone mentioned also, and I got a text on this, that one name that surprised and jumped out was Devon Jordan, the corner from Tulsa Union. He gave you some plays. Like, oh, Tulsa stand up. Union boy, he came out there and gave you something, because I saw him and I saw Jeremiah Newcomb, who recently did like the Sooner Jacks Are You Ready video, and I've been hearing about both of them a lot lately, especially in the young one is Cortland Guillory. Those three are the ones I'm hearing the most about right now as ones that are really jumping off the screen, and they should be something special. There's a lot more to go with that. Wide receiver room, young players that are getting opportunities. Elijah Thomas, of course, you've heard me talk about him. He's going to be a problem. Jermichael Carter is starting to show us some stuff. He's got some things to refine, but he's showing us some stuff. I'm also, we know that Isaiah Satania, I'm over here messing up. Isaiah Satania is one that's going to be a big time one. And don't forget, man, Ivan Carrion has been shaping his body. He's going to be nice. I ain't got much to say about the tight end room. Running backs, we're starting to get those guys back soon. So, Javante Barnes is doing his thing. But we're waiting to see when Ott gets back, X-Rob, as well as Taylor Tatum. All of them, when they get back, we can really talk backs. But I'm just going to tell you all this. when you hear my prediction for the season, do not be surprised. I am very high on what this team should be able to do. And I am at the point for this season that there's really not much of an excuse besides everybody on the team falling out. Knock on wood. Nobody gets hurt. Knock on this wood. We should have a really good season. Period. Because I'm seeing some of the reports from other teams. Oh boy. Yeah, boy. It ain't nothing compared. Actually, what every report that I'm hearing from some of these other teams feels like what I heard about us last year. And I was hoping for the best case scenario. I think we may have gotten it. Let me know what you think. Hop in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts. How I feel about the report, what y'all think. I know some of y'all have already been on the message boards. I've seen you all jump on there and make comments. What do you all think? Jump in the comments, have that conversation, and go through. Again, we will dive deep into this tomorrow, me and Coop. And of course, me and John have something for you on Monday on Locked On Sooner. So make sure you like, subscribe to the bell notification on those. And yeah, we'll chop it up soon. Peace.